Boom! Texas Longhorns grab one of the nation's top players in the country out of Grayson, Georgia. Second year in a row, the Longhorns have gone back to Grayson, Georgia. Last year, it was Nick Brooks, one of the stars of spring camp, the true freshman left tackle. This year, it may be the top overall player in the state of Georgia and definitely one of the top linebackers in the country, if not the very best. A five-star prospect, Tyler Atkinson, 6'2", 210 pounds, out of Grayson, Georgia, has committed to the Texas Longhorns. Gerry Hamilton, you went to see him in person early in his junior year, came away extremely impressed. What do you have to say about this commitment for Steve Sarkisian?
Well, for those on the channel, remember, I came back and immediately made him a 5-star in our own Texas football rankings. I said, this is a 5-star prospect. That's what Tyler Atkinson is. He is a phenomenal football player and phenomenal linebacker. I mean, that's just what he is. As you said, 6'2", 215, get away probably top out around 230, but just exceptional closing speed on the football. He has just got real game speed. He is a pass rusher and a disruptor from the inside linebacker position. I mean, think about this, Bobby. In 3 seasons on varsity for Grayson High, who's one of the top programs, big school programs in the state of Georgia, he has 475 tackles, 93 quarterback hurries, 79 tackles for loss, 31.5 sacks, 4 or 5 caused fumbles, and an interception in 40 games. He has averaged over 10 tackles a game his entire high school career, and that was probably as a 180-pound, 185-pound freshman. That guy is just a tremendous football player, and there you see he's a natural Mike backer. He can play in space. He just closes on the football so well. He'll know what a Missouri football uniform looks like after that highlight. But he just closes. He's got sideline-to-sideline speed. He has got pass rush ability. He is accustomed to playing against, and he's doing this against high-level competition in Georgia. These are fast football players. Every team they play against has Division I players on offense, and a lot of times they have Power 4 guys on offense they're going up against. So what this guy's doing on Friday nights is against about as good a competition as you can play at a public school in America.
I tell you what, Gerry, second year in a row, Texas goes into Georgia. Not only Nick Brooks last year, but we got to remember Amari Winston, the tight end, as well as Zealous Hicks, the safety out of Carrollton. And then don't forget about Justice Terry. That was a big upset over the Georgia Bulldogs as well. Defensive lineman out of Manchester. I was at that commitment ceremony. This is huge for Texas.
Yes.
I've got to say this because this is over Georgia, Clemson. Who else was involved here?
Ohio State. Ohio State, Oregon. Yeah, I mean, look, Georgia was considered the favorite for a long time. Obviously, he'd been on campus at Texas twice. He was in Austin for the Georgia game last year when Georgia beat Texas in DKR. He came back and worked out a little bit this summer for a couple of weeks in Austin because of somebody he trains with in that area. So he got even more familiar with Austin. His father was in Austin a little bit during that time as well. And again, the family's originally from North Carolina. The father's from North Carolina. So this isn't a kid that grew up Georgia Bulldogs his whole life. He moved in middle school. But this has been a top target of Georgia, just like Justice Terry, for multiple years. These are the type of linebackers that Georgia's won national championships with. And Texas goes into Grayson High, in one of the hotbeds in football, basketball, and all sports, track in Georgia, and gets arguably the nation's best linebacker. Guy, it's an easy ranking of a 5-star prospect in my mind, and a guy that, look, Clemson was on for multiple years, Auburn, Alabama, Tennessee, everybody, Ohio State. When he canceled the Ohio State OV for Texas OV, I think that kind of raised the alarm bells with us behind the scenes because Ohio State expected to get him on campus. They were surprised they did not.
Well, I tell you what, comparisons abound for elite linebackers. And there's one name that comes to the top of the list when you start trying to compare linebackers to high school, Texas linebackers to high school linebackers. Derek Johnson is one of those, as good as it gets in a Longhorn uniform. These are very Derek Johnson-like numbers.
Yes.
When we talk about it. I mean, they really are. 475 tackles in 3 varsity seasons. I mean, dude, that's like more than 150 tackles a year.
Yes.
Okay. 93 quarterback hurries, 79 tackles for loss, and 31 sacks. Those stats are absurd. They are, whether he ends up being a Derek Johnson kind of level player or not, those stats are absolutely absurd.
Yeah, and you know what? You can't do that at a high level of high school football in Georgia unless one, you are a student of the game and you're instinctive too, and you have elite athletic traits at that position 3. And he's got all those. And I saw that when I was there. And that's why it was such an easy 5-star rank. I mean, he had 197 tackles in 14 games as a sophomore. He had 166 in 13 games as a junior. I mean, those are monster numbers when you consider who he plays against. And you can't do that unless you have a motor. Maybe that should be number one. You have to have a great motor to put up stats like that. You have to have a will to get to the football at all costs. So I think this is a huge win for Texas, again, in the state of Georgia. And I think one of the things that we need to talk about, Bobby, is I think he sees a lot of opportunity. If Ant Hill goes pro, what happens? Even though he's a Mike linebacker, if a Brad Spitz comes back, he probably plays where an Anthony Hill does a year from now. So him and Elijah Bo Barnes are playing that spot. But I think Tyler Atkinson sees a lot of opportunity at Texas. And I think he's seen what guys have done, linebackers at Texas. Similar, not the same level. Obviously, Georgia's linebackers have been tremendous. Georgia may also have more guys he's familiar with there. I think he saw a lot of opportunity in Austin.
Yeah, I think that's got to be a part of it. Obviously, we're going to have Rod Babers step in here in a little bit, and the former NFL player and one of our cohorts here at On Texas Football, and break down Tyler Atkinson's film a little bit more for you. Gerry, the recruiting class now for Texas, this gives the Longhorns 2 linebackers. He joins Cozy Okpala out of Mady Creek, who himself pretty darn good player.
Yes.
Texas wanted 3 linebackers in this class. Where do you think they're going to stop here now that they got Tyler Atkinson at 2, or do you think they'll continue to maybe evaluate some other folks during the football season?
Oh, I think they'll keep going on this. I've just consistently heard 3 is the number that Texas wanted and needed from the high school level. So I fully expect them to recruit some other guys committed elsewhere that they like, and it could be guys that even make a visit and see how things play out around the country with some guys they like that are committed elsewhere. It could also be a senior eval guy. It could be somebody in state that's committed elsewhere that they liked as well. I think Texas will continue the march on and look for a 3rd linebacker in this class. But I'll tell you what, Tyler Atkinson and Cozy Okpala, that's a hell of a start if those are your 2.
Yeah, they went after Kellen Wiley late last year as a linebacker. They ended up not getting him, but it's a good reminder of they do find guys late that they like a lot. We'll have to see how that goes, but obviously very big news in my opinion here. This class starting to look a little star-studded, if that makes sense.
And look, it's Bobby. The concern of can this class actually be a top 5 class? And I've maintained it. You absolutely. Yeah, I'll just say absolutely.
Yeah, I get it, and this is we can't underscore this one. Huge announcement here. Tyler Atkinson, linebacker out of Grayson, Georgia, is your latest Texas Longhorn. Big pickup for the Longhorns. Rod Baber here is next. Before that, I want to say thank you to our recruiting sponsor. That is Mark Saunders over at Allstate Insurance. You're in good hands with Mark and the Allstate team. Reach out to him, Mark Saunders at allstate.com. Here's Rod Babers, but before we give way to Rod, I want to say one last thing. Tyler Atkinson, hook 'em horns, buddy.
Hey, what's up, folks? Welcome back to On Texas Football. Boom, as Bobby would say. Texas gets another one, and I got to tell you, they got a big one. Talking about a whale. The fantastic linebacker, 5-star linebacker out of Loganville, Georgia, Tyler Atkinson. And watching his film was a treat. I mean, you talk about a 3-down demon. He's honestly, this is what I wrote. I wrote this down, no doubt. I got to watching him. He reminds me of one of those T-1000s or T-800s. You remember those? There's an old school reference from the Terminator movies. All right, seek and destroy. You give him a directive and a mission, and watch him acquire the target and seek and destroy anything in his path. All right. Sorry, that's an old school reference for those who don't get it about the Terminator. That's my nickname for him. He's a T-1000. I love everything about his game, man. There's no hesitation in this young man's game. You know, he's got a really high football IQ, but it's how quickly he diagnoses plays. All right. The speed of the diagnosis shows me the football IQ. He's a kind of a no doubt defender because he doesn't doubt his instincts. When he sees something, he goes. And he's going 100 miles an hour. It actually makes him play faster than his actual speed is. I don't know what his actual track time and speed is, but his football speed is unbelievable. Reaction time is tremendous, and his closing speed as well. I mean, it's otherworldly. You can tell there are times where the quarterbacks and the ball carriers, they underestimate and miscalculate his closing speed, and he tracks him down way faster than they thought. Like, I didn't see him because he came out of nowhere. Or I thought, oh man, he's so far away, he won't get me. I got time. No, you don't. You do not have time with this guy. Fantastic closing speed. I love that about him. He's a downhill off-ball linebacker, and kind of old school in that way. He takes immaculate angles to the football, and that also I think kind of speeds up his football speed because he takes really good angles to the football. Not a lot of kind of wasted movement there. He gets downhill very quickly. He also great patience. You can tell there are times where he's waiting, and either he's added late as a blitzer or he's a spy, and he has great patience to wait on players. And once he diagnoses exactly what's happening, as you see right there, then he gets downhill in a hurry. So he's not, there's an old school saying like, get there quick, but don't be in a rush, right? He's kind of to me, he embodies that, right? Don't be in a rush, because being in a rush, sometimes you'll make mistakes, but make sure that you want to get there fast and play fast. He is the epitome of that. Also, I love the fact that he tracks the football really well, sideline to sideline. I mean, there isn't a play that he can't make sideline to sideline. I mean, he can cover it. He's got the speed to do it. He's got the length to do it. He's a long-limbed player, too. That's pretty obvious. But he's a heat-seeking missile. Also, and I put this in my notes as well, that, he doesn't get caught up in traffic very often. See some young players get caught up in traffic, get caught up in the wash. I think that's another sign of high football IQ. Like, doesn't get caught up in the traffic at all. Really does a good job of sifting through the trash and the detritus to make the play, and he makes the play a lot of the time too. So there's a great Mike Tomlin quote that says, "Look like what you hunt." He 6'2", what is he, 6'2", 215, 6'2", 210, somewhere around there. He looks like what he hunts. Like, he is a new age linebacker that also can get downhill. I think the added value of his skill set is that if he's a spy, he's like 007. Like, he's great as a spy. He's great from the second level as an added rusher or a blitzer, in my opinion, from the second level. I know we've talked about how Texas wants players on defense that have another added dimension. He's got plenty of them. But at linebacker, it's hard to imagine there's somebody out there with some better tape than Tyler Atkinson, a disruptor. That's what I would classify him as on the back end. So Texas got themselves a damn good one in the Loganville, Georgia linebacker, Tyler Atkinson.